just go along that. Simple time and space, and it becomes simple. Find it. Yes, humans have created energy. But just like this word creates mess, this is natural.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin. Kindly take your seats. We're all singing. I'm going to sing if you don't take your seats. My dear, sit down. That works.
Are you singing German?
No, this is Russian. Mike passes for Russian. Oh, that was a big one. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You're welcome. The first reader after the break is the marvelous, magical, wonderful, ubiquitous, I shouldn't say that, he doesn't like me to say that, Mr. Ed Mike Q. Kindly come forward and give him a round of applause as he comes up here, bravely taking the mic. Then we got Trump Rabies, Melissa, Clara, Tommy, David, Garrett, Greg, Uche, Zane. Thank you. Here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, ready.
You may have heard this before. I dug it out of my pocket again. Oz Zen Tao. Oz Zen Tao. James Broughton, an old pal of mine, dead many years now, in 1977 saw his Seeing the Light book about film, published by City Lights in San Francisco, and he wrote that Oz is a different order of nonsense from Zen. That Zen is the moment of awareness, and that Tao is letting the moment go. Zen sees everything that is, and Tao moves with everything as it flows. James said that when the Zen master pointed at the moon, he said, "Why are you looking at my finger?" Zen, as an art of seeing, does not follow a script. I make my own Oz, just as I make my own Zen. And if your dream, your real inward dream, sounds, well, realistically dreary, I wonder if you might consider joining in Oz and Tao. Yes, the world still will end, and the scope and how we approach the end and it reaching us, we don't know. Yet how fine to have such dear companions, and whatever is hopeful, as in having a love in an unknowing, and this is Ozenthal.
Thank you, Ed Mike Q.
This person moves around.
And now, brought to you at great expense from the universe itself, Trump Rabies is our next performer. Give him a round of applause as he begins his entrée.
I thought I had all the answers. And then life raped me of all the questions. Or how I stopped worrying. And to love. Our Führer, Donald Trump. Donald Trump hired me as your sex apprentice. Don't betray our love for politics turned showbiz. Who cares how high the rent Putin pays on your booty is? I want to give birth to Trump babies. Want to itch with Trump-bred scabies. I'm running crazy in the streets with Trump political rabies. Oh, Donald, take me away from rabble. Put neurotic undertones of your babble, because you speak in a tortured ideological scrabble, while the media mangle and grope and grapple. Listening to you is like hearing Adam eat the apple, spraying juice all over himself like mango snapple. Don't build a wall between your heart and mine, you Republican queen. I promise me raping you is just a dream. It's true. I do want to immigrate into you, you sexy man. Don't worry, I'm 100% not Mexican. So please whip that thing out again, huh? Hillary Clinton, she could barely be tolerated, let alone elected. Oh, but Donald Trump, I want a finger and stroke that dad's yellow animal taxidermied and entombed on his head, while we lie in the walled-off Astoria presidential suite's bed. When Congress hears of our passionate thrills, I'm sure they'll have Goldman Sachs pay our room service bills. His politics are heinous, and his policies pain us, but I want his maniacal rhetoric shoved up my anus. It won't hurt for long. Less than a decade of Donald Trump tears. At most 8 years of realized Donald Trump fears. So, I'm pasting Trump campaign posters up on my sugar walls. I'm grinding to elect Donald Trump president of my genitals. Oh, Donald. Fuck us in your fits of fascism. Piss on us with your winning wisdom. Choke us with your words until we're sick. Donald Trump, you suck! So why not my dick?
Since May, I thought Trump would be done by Labor Day as president. I'm not thrilled about the tense Putin regime that is aborting, slouching towards Bethlehem, as it were. Slouching. But End of business tomorrow by resignation, end of Friday by 25th Amendment. If you count, there are now 13 cabinet members likely to join Pence in invoking 13th Amendment. The head count works. Resignation is best. They want the weekend news cycle. Congress reconvenes next week. They'll lose the entire fall session and possibly not get a budget passed with this guy in office, so I'm out there in the prediction ledge. I predicted he was going to be the nominee. Predicted he was going to beat Hillary. Mock me at your own risk. Trump rabies, you want to turn YouTube, 1 in 5 in the search engines. I own Trump rabies on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now, my co-host is going to take the mic. The wonderful, magical Melissa. She doesn't like me saying magical. Now, doesn't Melissa give her a round, please? And then after that, I'll read a list of those people who are coming up so everybody knows where they are. You're right here, actually.
I'm going to start by reading a couple of poems by Audre Lorde. This one's called Power. Trigger warning, it has violence and sexual violence. The difference between poetry and rhetoric is being ready to kill yourself instead of your children. I am trapped on a desert of raw gunshot wounds and a dead child dragging his shattered black face off the edge of my sleep. Blood from his punctured cheeks and shoulders is the only liquid for miles, and my stomach churns at the imagined taste while my mouth splits into dry lips without loyalty or reason, thirsting for the wetness of his blood as it sinks into the whiteness of the desert where I am lost. Without imagery or magic, trying to make power out of hatred and destruction, trying to heal my dying son with kisses only the sun will bleach his bones quicker. A policeman who shot down a 10-year-old in Queens stood over the boy with his cop shoes in childish blood, and a voice said, "Die, you little motherfucker," and there are tapes to prove it. At his trial, this policeman said in his own defense, "I didn't notice the size nor nothing else, only the color." And there are tapes to prove that, too. Today, the 37-year-old white man with 13 years of police forcing was set free by 11 white men who said they were satisfied justice had been done, and one black woman who said that they convinced me, meaning they had dragged her 4'10" black woman's frame over the hot coals of 4 centuries of white male approval until she let go, the first real power she ever had, and lined her own womb with cement to make a graveyard for our children. I have not been able to touch the destruction within me. But unless I learn to use the difference between poetry and rhetoric, my power too will run corrupt as poisonous mold, or lie limp and useless as an unconnected wire. And one day I will take my teenage plug and connect it to the nearest socket, raping an 85-year-old white woman who is somebody's mother. And as I beat her senseless and set a torch to her bed, a Greek chorus will be singing in 3/4 time. Poor thing, she never heard a soul. What beasts they are.
Wow.
Oh no, my phone's gonna die.
Erase it.
No!
That's why paper rules.
I know, but it's not mine. Okay, well I guess I'm just gonna have to read mine now.
Oh, jeez.
I wrote this one about a year ago after a 10-day silent meditation retreat. It's called The Weathering. Bird parts littered cement like almonds or gifts. beak, talon, wing. She said the starlings let their babies die. Either the weathering of desire and erosion, like so many daggered raindrops on beach sand, or the abrupt and disruptive thunderclap of an unrequited commitment. There is a dichotomy of beauty in letting a lover go that dances, dances, dances with ache. My heart in cracked ribcage opened wide in silence. What is this body made for but to harbor change? A vessel of sensations impermanent. The trees are prepping to scatter, while the rest of us are still in bloom. I wrote this one for one of my best friends over the summertime. Doesn't really have a name. There's something about the vastness of the desert, you said, the way the sky opens up. Stars poised like so many dust particles in a beam of light at dawn or dusk. And it is more aromatic than desolate, a sharp, sweet shrapnel smell when the rain comes, oily like leather, like tobacco bitter pungencies. I pick up earth, bones and bullets, mother bunch for the sensing. To render barrenness is to deny a cusp, a wing, and a sadness deep as canyons run is no excuse for death. A quick plasma pop sends embers shooting into ash, where fire once flickered as necessity. Entranced onlookers heartily asked respect. There are now greedy screens irreverently beaming thieves. Rusted hatchet blade on splintered wooden handle rests among boxes of kindling. We are not built solely for city living. Safety is the riptide breath of a slumbering dog, the tinny whistle of a hummingbird, every corpse pose an inevitable ending, a part of a gun. Fragility falls off like a band-aid on wet skin if you let it. You hold on to your saguaro boot canteen by its dead woody ribs and drink. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. All right, so now we just read the next set. We have Clara, then Tommy, then David, our mini feature, then we got Garrett, Greg, Uche, and Zane. So just be apprised. Will Clara kindly come forward, please, when she has time? In the meantime, I can blabricate uselessly. But she's already up there, so why should I say anything? Clara Sue, ladies and gentlemen.
This is called Harvey's Coffee. Into a frenzy, the milk is whipped, and in no time the eye is formed. A single black hole looking from heaven to earth. Enough! That bitter grind that permeates the water takes only a whisper to change its nature. Now the wind blows north, south, east, west, and the saucer rattles. Some say the problem is the problem. Some say the problem is the cause. Some say the cause is the problem. Some say the cause is the cause. I am left with the tail of a cloud as the sun drinks its last drop. A wet hawk takes refuge in a driver's seat, waiting for Noah's rainbow. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Clara. And very good to see you. Yeah. Tommy, you're out there. Come on out. Give us a great round of applause. He knows how to take applause. You can hand him as much applause. He doesn't break. It's all right. Woo!
A moment ago, the music was blasting at ear-shattering levels. The dance area was packed. I was checking out this guy standing across the narrow room between the dance floor and the bar. Suddenly, the music died. The lights started flashing. It wasn't closing time. I heard a voice say, "It's a raid!" Guys started frantically moving all around me. I didn't know where they were trying to go. "The cops are here," some guy said. I turned and I could see them at the front door, at least 2 of them. There was no way out. I was 19. Drinking age was 21. I had my brother's old driver's license. He and I looked a lot alike. People used to think we were twins. He knew I was using it to get into bars, but not gay bars. I put down the drink I was holding. I tried to think where I could hide. I saw a door. It opened into a kitchen. An elderly man was washing some glasses. He looked startled. I don't think he knew what was happening. I told him I was a minor. He didn't seem to understand. I repeated it in choppy Italian. Aiutami, help me. He pointed to a door. He said, tu vai, go, go. I stepped out into a small yard. The wooden gate had a latch that opened to an alley. I walked quickly to the street. A police van was pulled up in front of the bar. The cops were still inside. I crossed the street and stood there. It didn't take long before the boys in blue were leading guys out of the bar and into the back of the van. I wanted to run, but I found myself frozen in that spot. It was like watching a train wreck. I managed to escape. I wanted to say something, to yell to the people passing, "Hey, look at what they're doing, we gotta do something!" But I couldn't talk. I remembered that bar in New York a year and a half before, the Stonewall. That's what it was called. A riot broke out when the cops raided that bar. We needed a riot that night. It wasn't going to happen. No one stopped to look. One of the cops slammed the door shut and they rode off. It took me the longest time to walk away. My body was still shaking. I was angry. Not as angry as I was the next morning when I saw that the newspaper ran a story about the raid with the names and addresses of the men arrested for not having proper ID. I wasn't surprised. I was just a faggot. My life didn't matter. The lives of all those men who would lose their jobs and their families didn't matter. The cops would get their payoffs, and the politicians would boast of cracking down on vice, as they did every election. That's how it was in 1971, when America was great. Stick that up your ass, Donald Trump. The loud squeals drew me into the kitchen, where I spotted on the floor a tiny furry head and claw sticking outside of one of those black box traps. A mouse was desperately trying to free himself from the glue. A coworker must have put it there. I carried it into the yard, laying it down on the cement and ripping open the cardboard casket. The little creature kept trying to pull away, but couldn't get far, stuck to that unrelenting glue. I stood helpless for a moment before remembering something I had read. Pouring vegetable oil on tiny limbs and belly, it took only a few seconds before the terrified rodent wiggled free and ran off. No doubt cursing my kind, as I do all the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Tommy! Thank you. All right. Now we're going to have our mini feature of the evening, David Erdreich. Then we got Garrett, Craig, Uche, and Zane. So we have a batter up average that's just going to knock my socks off. I'll get back to you in a moment.
So I handed out posters And also, Clara Sue will be part of my show. And she'll have Shanna Carlson playing piano behind her. It should be very interesting. So I'm going to play a little horn and then I'll read some poetry. Just a shorty. Yep. Oh yes, there's an inner beam alphabetized where I'm teaching my grandson to count, to pass on the wonders of bird speciation, divining the otters of dream speculation, to sift out the castings from pages that mount. But music or poems are just the first steps where power enhances the skill of adepts. Up ahead, laughing forth, there's a mountain to climb. To this quote, add a question: is there enough deep time? I added the deep. Now I wrote that yesterday. I didn't know what the theme was. Gotcha. Yeah. Today, pairs, groups, convocations, exchanging wares, wearing it on your sleeve like your heart. Anonymous gift. Where did it come from? Someone else's invisible heart. Smile inside. Raise an eyebrow. Renewal comes from the salamander under the garden flower pot which hasn't moved for months, or from catching a baby turtle, then letting it go. Here's a real short one. Shortcuts, shortcakes, short stops. Stop short.
But you could go on.
It's got to be short. Got to be short. New paragraph appears by parachute. They drop onto different spots on the page. Water marks its way on wood. Owl drops its poop from an uncovered dead branch high along the forest path. It paints the forest floor with particular smears, fungus, humongous, mold flowers among us. It's not that I have forgotten the stardust that man must reassemble and pursue. It's just that by myself, my spade and my shovel and tools are too few. There is a counselor that sits on my shoulder, an editor who counsels, be still. Yet sometimes this anger burns out of control and I empty the trough I should fill. Two days ago. In exuberance, youth runs along the edge, the beam, using the curve, along a series of short, flat-top wooden posts, from slack to tightrope, preparing for liftoff? Just ask Wilbur and Orville. Until adults pluck Icarus from the bookshelf, wavering above the roof, and warn, this is not appropriate behavior. Humans don't levitate, do they? You cannot touch my chasm. I cannot fathom your cleft. Like dots, Straddling a line, ratios race past, X's and O's, comparing Campari with Vermont. A grid of lions over a roaring fire drips Fat Tuesday into a week of nothing. Strongly scented skiffs monitoring Macintosh apples or rain gear pelt the Texas coast like a ghost, pulsing sickly green through a pounding storm, draining pizzle fuel through polluted politicians shooting up nepotism, their dirge of choice, mainlining liar's dice and selling national parks for condos, fleecy rice. The magnates sell us each new war to help them raise bitcoins, coupons, credit corps, to pay for a navy asleep at the helm, navigating the straight and narrow, past prostitutes serving straight jackets and stuffed shirts. If you want to sell the people dog shit, wear a suit and tie, smile, and repeat the same lumpy formula at least 4 times every minute. Dog shit, dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. Dog shit, dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. Details, details, D-heads, demons, determine, decide.
How am I doing for time?
We got about a minute.
Okay, I did this the other day for Poetry Express, so you
I
heard
missed it.
You heard it. So.
No, I didn't. I missed this week.
Oh.
Yeah, so please.
Okay, so there is a charm in letter C. It's like a 0 that's set free. Or like omega turned again, missing scant lines at the bend. It turned a quarter, now it's you. A homonym to see you through. Perhaps reversed with bottom slot. A Hebrew letter just gone flat. With without a central dot. Multiplicity is what you got. In Roman numerals, it's 100. So many uses for its kindred. To homonym we now return. See? The ocean stewing in an urn. What you get is what you see from this oral visionary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. All right, thank you. Where am I? I'm right here.
Sacred grounds.
Thank you. Mr. Garrett Murphy, will you kindly come forth and hold forth or dip before our very eyes here? And then we got Greg, Uche, and Zane to wrap it up. I'm gonna go. Oh, he's good. Go.
The original World War. One follower comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "Praise to my deity, that's the greatest one of all." Another comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "Praise to my deity, that's the greatest of all." A third comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "All praise to my deity, that's the supreme one of all." A fourth comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "Sing praises to my deity, that's the mightiest of all." And all this continues a similar effect, and all you know what begins to percolate. What do you mean, your deity? My deity is the greatest of all. What sacrilege? Mine is the greatest deity. You're both wrong. Mine is the omnipotent deity. Says you'll all burn in Hades at the feet of my deity. None of your deities can compare with mine. Blasphemer, sinner, infidel. Needless to say, before too long a battle of all with many fronts has occurred and sadly continues to this day. And one can't help but surmise to oneself whether countless distances above the continual war, the various deities who have been referred to by the warriors below are shaking their heads with resignation and sympathy, as they discuss amongst themselves this well-worn query, what have we done to deserve these for our followers?
Garrett Murphy, always good. Thank you. He's always great. I love that guy. Greg Pond is next, and then Uche and Zane. All right. Bringing it home, as they used to say in South Florida.
I was never in South Florida. Well, that one drunken weekend.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I wrote this one for Katrina, but Chocolate City Blues. See the people deep down in brown water. Flee the people deep down under orders to evacuate civically with patient southern civility. While the tide rises higher, the headlines shout, "The levee's gonna break, it's time to get out, grab your TVs and kids, do your best to escape." Bless Grandpa and them who chose to remain, thousands of dreams scattered and displaced. Rescue delayed for those too old, too poor, too proud, too slow. Waiting for FEMA relief on the peak of a flooded roof, while the government sits on trial for slow-acting humanity and domestic abuse. Inch by inch, a city sinks in irony of rich and poor, in fast-rising waters while the headlines shout, "Devil stole the lower ninth, but God spared the French Quarter."
Oh yeah, I'll get that.
This one is entitled Dark August. This was written by Derek Walcott, who was a poet. He was from St. Lucia in the Caribbean, and he was a Nobel Prize winner for literature in 1992, and wrote a lot about conditions in the Caribbean and throughout the world. Anyway, this is entitled Dark August, and I picked this because, you know, the month is ending, but as I read it, it struck me how, well anyway, you'll hear it. Dark August. So much rain, so much life like the swollen sky of this black August. My sister, the sun, bruised in her yellow room and won't come out. Everything goes to hell. The mountains fume like a kettle, rivers overrun, still, she will not rise and turn off the rain. She's in her room folding old things, my poems turning her album. Even if thunder falls like a crash of plates from the sky, she does not come out. Don't you know I love you, but am hopeless at fixing the rain? But I am learning slowly to love the dark days, the steaming hills, the air with gossiping mosquitoes, and to sip the medicine of bitterness. So that when you emerge, my sister, parting the beads of the rain with your forehead of flowers and eyes of forgiveness, all will not be as it was, but it will be true. You see, they will not let me love as I want. Because, my sister, then I would have learned to love the black days like bright ones, the black rain, the white hills, when once I loved only my happiness and you. Dark August, Derek Walcott.
That's great, Hans. Notice the voice. Now, like I said, when we have someone new, our first person is a new person, we give them the cheering, the loud noise, the animal noise, and stuff like that. Good job! You can raise it up a little bit so you're framed perfectly. Nice to see you again.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I saw you last week.
Yeah, really. We go way back.
Cool. All right, cool. So yeah, I'm new to San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
By way of Atlanta.
All right.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. This is called Kobe. This is based on Kobe Bryant, the retired NBA basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers, number 24. All right. Cool. All right. People love to judge, criticize, naysayers, January 20th, 2006, Sunday. History was made. January 21st, 2006, Monday. Time to get ready for school. Hop on the bus to Benedictine High School. But before that, Uche, 17-year-old, had a ritual. Before heading out to the door to catch the bus, he sits and watches Sports Center or some music videos, something entertainment related. That morning, he had to squint to believe what he saw. Kobe Bryant scored 81 points. My mind, 81 fucking points, like goddamn, in a basketball game, 81 points. My mind was telling me, I gotta go to school and tell everybody, hey, Kobe scored 81 points. It was unbelievable. Craftsman, a winner, a champion. Sunday, May 2006, 5 months later, it was game for the NBA quarterfinals. It was the Phoenix Suns versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Uche and his family, more so his brother and dad, was in Chicago. My sister was at the University of Toledo. So we were on a megabus headed from Chicago back home to Cleveland, Ohio. And I was missing the game. I was kind of pissed off on the bus missing the game. Kobe Bryant, quarterfinals. I'm like, okay, I could catch the few minutes of the fourth quarter. That's what Faith was telling me. And Faith was right. As soon as we entered my house, I ran to the basement of the house, put on the TV, turned the channel to ABC, and it was overtime. They showed the play, Kobe hitting the little nice game winner to send the game into overtime. It was like, boom. It was great. So the game resumed. It was a jump ball. And I think I gotta show you. It was a jump ball. It was Luke Walton, jumped the ball. And Kobe got it. He grabbed the ball, took the ball to his sweet spot. Boom. He shot the ball. Game over. The ball went in overtime. It was phenomenal. Remember the game? Yeah, it was like that. It was great. He pulled up to the podium. Was like, he was pounding his chest. MVP. Lakers, LA, Kobe. I mean, I had goosebumps. I had to be in LA. Like, I just got the feel. Like, I gotta go to LA. I gotta go to LA. It was so exciting. I mean, to see somebody just out the blue. I just got back from Chicago. I ran downstairs to the basement. He got jump ball. Boom. Aaron, like the MJ, Michael Jordan. It was just perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, Wednesday, April 13, 2016. Kobe's last game. It was a good day. My tax refund came, direct deposit, so that was pretty good. that was good. And I had orientation that day for a new job in the afternoon. I was in Newtown, LA. It was Los Angeles. I had to go to LA at some point in my life because of Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? I was in LA. And it was Kobe's last game. That was my mantra. So I had to make it special. So after orientation in Santa Monica, I took the bus to the Staples Center. And the Staples Center is where the Lakers play. And I took the bus, but I was still new to LA, so I got lost. I got off on the wrong stop. So I caught a lift taking to the Staples Center. And in the lift was 3 other girls in the car. It was a good evening, beautiful girls, good conversation. And before we dropped them off, the girls asked me to buy them some beer, some alcohol. And I'm like, okay, cool. They paid me for it, so I said, yeah, sure. So it was excitement, sadness, Kobe loyalty, Jerry West, another NBA player, Magic Johnson. It was the place to be. So the Staples Center, watching the game outdoors, not alone, it was like this plethora of NBA fans, like just, Kobe's last game. Kobe, he's a mecca. He's a god in LA. And what he did, I mean, he stayed with one team for 20 years. So I was watching the game outdoors, and there was a girl by the corner on her phone, and I just talked to her. I'm like, hey, where you from? I'm from NYC. And she told me her boyfriend was in the Staples Center, in the arena watching the game while she was outside because he got only one ticket for him. And the girl was outside because, tickets were so expensive for Kobe's last game. And I told her I can relate. So the game resumed, and I went to a restaurant, and it was Kobe. and there was like a little fight broke out. So I'm like, fuck this. Let me go do some improv downtown LA. So and the Lakers were losing. So I took the train to Hollywood Boulevard. But before I went to the improv place, there was a bar, and the game was still going on. And it was timeout again, just like a timeout when I came back home from fuck. I gotta finish this. And it was the game resumed, and Kobe made the game-winning shot again on the last game, a buzzer beater, game-winning shot, 60 points. And I just find it crazy how both times back in May 2006 and April 2016, 10 years apart, I came and watched the game just like out the blue, just randomly, and he hit game winner. So I saw the end of both spectacular games. So I just love Kobe. You know, Kobe. And that day his basketball journey ended. And I was beginning in LA. I'm thinking to myself, what a man, what a character, the Black Mamba. And critics talk shit all the time. Naysayers talking about his financial investments as being dumb, because now Kobe, he's a capital eventualist. So I'm like, fuck people need to get a life. Whatever a man does for a living, that's him. But I get it. I guess it's our culture to judge, but it's their really culture to judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Kobe! All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're up for the clincher closers, super duper bulldozers, Zane. Get up here, Zane, and knock us out. Bring us home. Sweet spot. And I'll stop now.
You guys, my name's Zane. I'm still in a body, and it looks like you guys are still in bodies, so that's cool. Good job. And if you're not in a body, you're doing a good job at looking like you're in a body. So basically, this is I don't know. I was gonna do a little something from this. It's "Oh God, Get Out." Get Out by Bill Moran. He's an absolutely amazing poet. But then I read the inside flap, and it was like, you can't do this unless you ask the guy. So I decided not to, but I still wanted to tell you guys, look at this stuff. His name's Bill Moran. If you want to look through it, you can do that. Right. And these are my words. Thank you guys for existing and caring about art. Hi. Hello. I do not know atrocity and or horror. Hello. I do not know stacks of bodies or boots or photographs or jewelry. Hi. I know cars and gray and footsteps all the way past the sidewalk. Hello. I know decay without a singular face. Hello, hollow eyes, I love you too. Tell me your name less somber next time. Let's see some more gusto. Hi. How does the playground plastic feel today? Have you gone down the slide enough times to shock someone's spine into straight lines? Let's call them railroad tracks, huh? Let's call the end of those tracks inevitable, huh? Let's call the ash the end product and hold hands and make daisy chain nooses, smiling yellow and black and fillings all the way home. South side of river, swallowing our pencils instead of just chewing them and spitting them out. Hello. I am another boy or man or adult or wallet with credit and debit cards. Hello, I am punctual, on time, and tucked in shirts, dignified and cross-legged on the street. I'll be on in 16th. We make magic from golden liquid, all statues in training, spewing the rest of our cobblestone's throats. Hello. I am rubble, and I do not remember any type of feet upon me. Hello. I am making my own mistakes, and guilt is something I was taught. Thank you. This little book of poems and art and stuff that I put together is called Coping Mechanisms for Breathing. If you want to give me a couple dollars for it, that'd be cool. If you don't have dollars and you have a hug, that works too. Or if you don't like hugs, just give me a high five or something. I can't even bury my teeth into this art. Too much a shallow pool and white tile to see anything through the fog. Trauma is more of a place than a word. Bottom of a grass hill, photocopying a mouthful of blood. Too ugly to love any type of finality. More disposable, white noise in throat. Sunflower seeds nod and out the window, forgetting which world that I am a part of. A speck of a speck of a speck, and she smiles and says that I am so dramatic. Walls are getting closer. I don't have a tendency to be claustrophobic, but I like to be able to see my hands when everything goes away, and I remember what calm feel like. Mountain made for the howl, sensation for the substance, and mind for I don't know what the fuck. Laughter hangs its head. I am memory played in a dark room that may or may not look like skull. Audience covers their eyes. I'm giggling because I know how this one go. Privilege ties a ribbon noose. The floor don't remember what feet feel like. Substitute for dust and ashtrays. Telling the morning it's too early. Rent was due 3 days ago. Bed prefers faceless. I want out the window. Ground likes my face. I tell him that makes one of us. Mirror don't know if he should lie or not. Drain always has open arms. Mine are closed or crossed behind my back. Twiddling patiently for a love that hasn't found a body to live in yet. As tangible as wind. Coughing cold coffee and hugging all of my ghosts. Realizing that I am alive for approximately 7 people. I want a vasectomy. Thank you.
That's name.
Give it up for Dan.
Thank you. So, just, some of you may not have heard part of what he said, but there is a poetry happening at 16th and Mission every Thursday night, 9:30, 10 o'clock, Mike, which is it? 10.
Yeah. 10.
Okay. So just so you know, the corner, 16th and Mission, the BART station, you look for the big crowd of people. And you go, all right.
Chalk circle on the sidewalk.
Yes, the chalk circle on the sidewalk. You got to be loud and jump right in.
I was talking about Albion, though. That's the alley.